Hello, everybody around the world, but mainly in Twitch chat. Welcome back to Essentials. Welcome back to some more ETF2L Season 51 coverage. Everybody getting ready for LAN. Well, at least some teams, not all of them. These two teams certainly are, because this could very well be a LAN preview, could also be a finals preview for the season. It's a big matchup. MANDEM versus the Dirty Maggots, arguably the two strongest teams in the season so far. Before we get ahead of ourselves talking about that, though, hey, I'm Cerny, joined by JMax on the camera and Epley on the mic. Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, honestly. I feel like it's been I've had a pretty good day so far, and I'm looking forward to what is going to be some pretty fun TF2. Like you say, it's going to be an interesting matchup, and I will have no Granary haters here. There are two fun maps, I think.
Yeah. Besides, Granary is also Process, so some classic, basic stuff. I don't think there's going to be anybody that really dislikes these maps. Okay, I know Granary has some haters, but I think people have kind of grown on that map over time now. You know, that maybe there's other maps that people dislike more. So Granary doesn't draw as much ire anymore as it used to in terms of people being upset at it. And I mean, it did get picked, right? This is like we still have the map picks and bans technically for the regular season. So clearly they liked it more than other choices.
Yeah, I
Evidently.
think. Yeah, like the whole funny picks and bans thing. I'm still getting used to it. You know, I'm old. I can't deal with change very well. I do find it kind of funny just not really knowing what things are going to be. But no, yeah, I think you're probably right. I think, you know, I always appreciate when leagues try new, fun, different maps. And I think maybe it gives you a bit more respect for the maps that you know and love. And I think anyone still hating on Granary is like, I don't know, you're either like 8 or 48. That's it. Like, come on.
You're operating on extremely outdated information.
Yeah. Because it's like, you know, every class gets to have fun, I guess, except medics. But that's most maps anyway. Come on.
It's the same everywhere. Anyway, let's talk about these teams a little bit, because, like, for one, we haven't seen MANDEM in a while, right? They haven't played in, like, almost a year, I think, at this point, as a team, even though their roster hasn't changed significantly since then. Everybody kind of took a break before they decided to play again. And then on the other end, you have the Maggots, who are also slightly changed from last time they played. They got two new players cycling in, one of them being bot mode, which is a pretty interesting choice, considering he's replacing, I believe, Voxy, right? So, interesting. That's a curious one, I think.
Yeah. I feel like it's, I was going to say, you know, it feels very much like a kind of get ready for LAN type situation. I think it's really kind of funny, the idea of having obviously, you know, a bunch of American teams going to LAN and then just having an American on a European team. But then again, I feel like, you know, bot mode's a little bit of a legend of the NA scene anyway. So I'm kind of curious to see what the old, I don't know, 120 ping scout can be getting done.
According to my tab press right now, he's about 90 ping.
Oh my god.
That's actually pretty. That's actually pretty playable.
That's the part which is quite close. I know, like, back. This is genuinely going back. Like, it's gonna be. I'm gonna say 9 years and want to just climb out my bedroom window. Yeah. I know we used to play on New York servers, and I think we got I think I was getting like 78 ping at some point. So actually, it's not even that bad. Why do people complain?
Yeah, I mean, he clearly lives very far East Coast, so if it works, it works. Yeah, but he's picking up the scout role, which at the end of the day would probably not even matter that much with his ping at the end, right? And then they also cycled out, I believe, Piggles, who used to be their medic and who is now being replaced by Juxta, who had his last season on... No, that was Patchouli. I don't know, Juxta, did he play last season at all, actually? I don't remember.
Oh, buddy, I'm the wrong person for you to ask. No, I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna wait for someone to correct me, because...
Oh, yeah, he was on Davies' team. Thank you, chat. That's true.
Exactly. As I said, did play last season.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting, because I, for one, want to see how rusty MANDEM are gonna be, right? Obviously, they are a really strong team. They were one of the few teams to actually at least make Witness sweat on a few maps every once in a while when they were playing, right? But now all of them have taken a long break and probably just maybe been pugging, and that's about it. So I really want to see what they're up to here. Also, they have the Mool joining them for the Frenchies falling, I guess. The French team folding. I suppose that's probably the reason why. I would assume, not because they want to desperately replace Lardox, but because the Mool was like, oh, I want to play. I don't know. I'm not gonna, try to debate what the reasoning behind that is. But it is probably maybe an upgrade. I don't know. Lardox is solid, but I feel like the Mool is better. So
I was going to say, Demul as well, bit of a legendary player. I want to go back to what you said a second ago and throw out a controversial opinion. When you said about Rust, I think that there's a perfect sweet spot in TF2 for the correct amount of time to not play. And I think that tends to be like kind of 9 to 12 months, where I think if you don't play for that period of time and then you come back, you end up being so sick at the game. And then after that, it drops down. Also, if you guys think the game is starting, it's not. It's not. They messed up the config. Come on.
As per usual.
You thought though. You thought we didn't know what's going on. No. Come on.
They're not gonna start that easily. This is Prem we're talking about. You really think they're starting on time? Come on. It's not that simple. But yeah, I do agree actually with your sentiment. I've noticed this as well with some games when I don't play them for a while and then I come back after half a year or something. I actually become better somehow, at least for a bit. It tapers off after a while again, and then you're just in this valley again. But if you can somehow channel that the entire time, that'd be something. Anyway, it looks like now they're actually starting. So let's see how process goes. No, still not. All right.
Oh no!
They can't figure out the round timer, chat. Prem's finest. They don't know how to do it.
Sick little rollout though. Look at that before everyone. Crazy, man. Have we got? Has anyone ever made a TFT production version of that technical difficulties screen? We need to have one of those right now and just be like, really sorry. Second time in a row we messed up the config. But the third time, third time's gonna be the one.
Yeah, surely they'll figure out how to set the config right.
Basically, my prediction is MANDEM's actually going to pop off massively on map 1.
Okay.
And then Granary is going to be a bit of a war of attrition. But I think, it's going to be that whole you've not played the game, so actually you think. Because, I think there's logic, right? Bear with me. I think there's logic because when you play the game loads, your brain goes into monkey, flick every shot, everything's on autopilot and your brain's not actually engaged. Whereas when you don't play for a bit and you have to think again, you have to actually engage your prefrontal cortex and make decisions again, you actually think about stuff and then you're making the correct plays and you're actually manually aiming instead of just being a flicking freak. I don't know. See? Logic? Yeah,
I mean,
makes sense.
Sure, I can see your reasoning. It is sound. It is definitely there's some derivation there. Whether or not it will remain true, I guess we'll see. But there's also an interesting story about this, right? Because this MANDEM team, supposedly with this roster, or well, I think Lardox instead of the Mool, is supposed to go to LAN, which would finally have fancy attending a LAN. Do you think that is going to happen?
I'm actually gonna say yeah, because I'd love to be just like a hater and say nah, absolutely not gonna happen. But I feel like 2026 is late enough into the cycle of the game to just actually have people turn up to things.
Yeah, I suppose.
I feel like we're close enough to the TF2 rapture that actually we can all just play video games in the same place sometimes.
We don't have to overthink it or worry about it. I can see it. Sure. All right. Before we get started, which will happen momentarily, chat, I think they figured it out finally. What do you think the scoreline will be? You said MANDEM are going to come out swinging, so you're going to back that up with a number?
Yeah, 5-2 first map.
All right. I'll take your word on that. We'll see if that's actually the case. The gamers have figured out how to make the config work. They can actually play. So let's see who's going to take it away on the first little mid fight here. Fancy a little bit faster than its counterpart, ever so slightly, but they're both cut off from the pack, so they're going to have to play around that different positioning, both of these demos. And Ryan just denying it even more so means that MAGGOTS are kind of in a tough position already on this mid fight. They don't really have much ground to play with at all. Finally, the soldiers will take some initiative to maybe jump around, but nobody falling just yet. KN is the lowest of all players on the server right now, gets healed eventually though, and it looks like just on positioning alone, MANDEM are slowly winning this. Ryan finally gets the first frag with a kill onto Af. There goes Jordy as well, and Zams might fall if he just barely can escape. Maybe he does, but the chase is on. They really want to clean up the players here. There goes Juxta. There goes the rest of the team. It's only Zams, mind you. The player I just thought would die. Now, scrambling for spawn, seeing if he can somehow defend his last, because MANDEM are coming out swinging.
Yeah, this is going to be so difficult at this point. They're basically just trying to pin them all the way. Oh my god, actually just getting killed all the way in spawn kind of sucks. Yeah, like this has been, there is so little you can do about this. You can desperately try with the pyro, try and get people out. They can take so much damage. They're already on the last point. Yeah, they're just going to cap this. Uber gets used. This is secure. Mandem, you know what's happened, Sony? They've come out and they've popped off a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a funny mid. It was kind of like, you know, counter jump the mid, no one fully commits. But then the second you get that one frag, you snowball, you keep on going. And I think it all comes down to that super late frag onto Juxta. Like that was it. The second that happened, it didn't really matter what anyone else in the server did. Like, you boned.
Yeah, the round's over at that point, really. You can't, there's no chance you can try to make anything happen for the last day. He would have had an Uber as well, so very fair. Quick first round. Let's see if Maggots can stabilize here as they have another attempt at this process mid. It's looking a little bit better. They have a little bit more positioning this time around. Zams actually has some ground to grab, and they're moving forward ever so slightly, seeing what may happen as the Moon is high in the sky. The first to fall is Jordy this time around, but he was bombing in, so he did his job as a soldier on mid. There goes Zams, though, and that might be a big frag for the side of MANDEM to find here. They've only lost Ryan so far. Fancy is also in a bit of danger, does eventually die, but the numbers are favoring MANDEM. They're still winning off the back of that, and well, Juxta might just escape, but it's still a bad mid-fight for the Maggots. At least this time they can hold. Well, try to, at least, but it's still not a great position to be in.
No, it isn't fantastic. I think they probably should, on the side of Dirty Maggots, actually get themselves onto second with some of their spawners. I feel like there was a window there. I feel like maybe shook a little bit by the first round, because I feel like there was definitely a bit of a window there. We are going aggressive all the way in. That's auto jumping in the mall as well. Ryan does get cleaned up. Not quite hitting the air shot. That's fine. But that is basically like a free little triple sack, right? Like, this feels like a good situation with those spawners coming in like 5 seconds. You know, you can let them get a little bit towards second point. Any good damage from Fancy could open things up a little bit. Uber does actually get used. It does look like they want to trade. It is going to be quite a lot better for the side of Dirty Maggots, but oh, they're disconnected. It's a little bit tragic. They can't really clean up. They're trying to chase all the way through choke. It doesn't look like they're really getting anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some struggling, like, trades at the end of it. Ryan trade out for Jordy, that's about it. But I guess Maggots managed to stabilize on second off the back of it. Bit of an ambitious Uber out of June, I suppose. Maybe she got forced. I didn't quite catch it, what happened, but, you know, it kind of screwed up for MANDEM. Now they're trying to get for this post-fight instead. Maybe get some ground. Fancy just waltzing on in, landing some damage, but that's it for the time being. They're trying to just, like, project some aggression here as Maggots are trying to clean it up as best they can. So it does get cleaned off, so there you go. And oh, Ripple Maggots get caught here in suit. Okay, yeah, there goes Balder.
Yeah, no,
Fair
okay.
enough.
I was gonna say for quite a lot of the time there, MANDEM was very much in the driver's seat in terms of being active, but okay, these counter frags come in. Dirty Maggots are in a pretty good situation. They should be able to do an awful lot here. Uber is still in the hands of June, so can get used at any point. The damage is so good. Not really can get all that many frags. Really wants to try and secure this frag. Somehow just about not managing to. Uber does get used now. Juxta does get the trade-off, so we're not too bad. You can see a little bit of position trying to be taken here. 5 versus 5. It's not the end of the world for either team, but I think ultimately Dirty Maggots is going to have this high ground. Retaking this is going to be hard on the side of MANDEM. That first frag onto Af. It's so important. You can see how well they force them out. And actually all the way towards choking. This damage is so good. The follow-up. That is so much damage. Zams is so lucky to get out of there alive. And I feel like right now, MANDEM, they can sense the blood. And that late frag is huge. Oh, no. This is like the same as round 1 at this point. It's those late frags that makes all the difference. Second is going to be theirs. Boulder just gets spawners at least, but even June getting headshot, it's not going to be enough.
No.
It's not going to be enough.
There's a couple of spawners, but they just couldn't get to the point in time, and that's the second round for MANDEM. They had to actually work for it that time around, at least a little bit, right? Looks like Maggots warmed up a little bit, woke up a little bit, realized what was going on with this match, who they're going up against, but still a bit too loose, not quite finding what they need to so far. Not really having the exact level of competition that they need for MANDEM, not the same level of coordination and so on, so we'll see if they can maybe find a better approach to these mids. The second one was better than the first. We'll see if it continues the trend. Fancy eats a lot of damage early, but will live. Not going to be the one to fall, not going to be the early pick there as Ryan gets straight out for pop mode and Jordy, so there goes KN as well. It's already crumbling. The house, of course, is falling. Zams will get cleaned up as well, and Juxta is in no position to do anything besides die himself. Yeah, it's pretty dire.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. This is not looking good on the side of Dirty Maggots. they're clearly having difficulties on these mid fights, even when it's very kind of back and forth. I feel like it must be an incredibly weird thing to watch if you're not particularly experienced watching TF2, because it just feels like everyone's just dancing around and then someone dies. But it's kind of finding those tiny little opportunities, knowing how far you can, you know, threaten being aggressive without actually fully committing. And ultimately, it just seems like Mandem's kind of coordination, their aggression, their kind of fake outs, it's just looking a little bit better now. We do see Uber in the hands of June. It is going to get used. Sniper, I suppose, gets the force off. That's good enough. We're going to go all the way towards the left-hand side. So much damage. All the way towards spawn. They do manage to live just about, but 2 frags are good. Yeah, this is going to be so easy. You can see Ryan just dominating damage from up top.
Oh my god, they didn't even kill Ryan. He was so low. He's got 6 health. He still lived as well. Oh my god. Such good kiting of the aggression as well out of MANDEM there. Get the soldiers out of the equation early. The demo's locked in spawn, can't protect the point either. And then as soon as you have any sort of ground on them, it's just over at that point. It really falls apart quickly. 3-0 up now in less than 8 minutes for MANDEM. This is not looking like a rusty team at all. This is looking like a team that...
Dude, this is the theory!
Yeah, the theory seems to be holding true. It is a team that is very much ready and keen to play and showing what they're made of. Let's see if they continue this trend with another mid-fight that really much does it well for them. With the MAGGOTS adjust. There's a good bomb by Jordy in onto the medic. Unfortunately, can't quite get the frag, but there is a lot of damage. And Zoe does die, eventually June as well, so they are actually finding the frags. Look at that! MAGGOTS have adjusted. They have figured out the mid-fight. They have cracked it. They only have to worry about Boulder, who is, well, a dangerous scout, but he does get cleaned up, and there you go.
Alright, there we go. Momentum in the hands of the Dirty MAGGOTS. They've got their players, they've got their Uber in just a couple of seconds. They're going to be looking all good. I mean, at this point as well, because of how those frags actually went, they were pretty late in the fight. I mean, this second is going to be so easy. You can see Juxta, though, like, playing behind point. It's like, I'm not getting sniped. I'm not risking anything right now. Like, they really do just need to get this round on the board. And thankfully, for once, we actually get to see, you know, the first time in this game, MANDEM are on the back foot. So it could be interesting to see how they try and deal with this here. They do have a heavy and sentry, so, you know, there will be quite a few things we're dealing with, but Sam's going to come straight on in. That gun dealt with nice and easily. Just about, actually, it is a player being lost on the side of the Dirty MAGGOTS, so that's not fantastic. It is actually becoming very scrappy. Zams has lost his life. Boulder is just standing there, 450, and yeah, oh no, the cleanup, does Demul want more? No, okay, that would have been a brave commit, but well held by MANDEM. I feel like MAGGOTS, yeah, I don't know, they kind of got in and then just didn't really do anything.
Yeah, they just kind of waddled in. Nobody really seemed to take any ground. The sentry took forever to be taken down. There was no follow-up to help Zams out with that, and it kind of just fell apart at that point. Now they're all back on their own second, trying to hold this. They will probably have an Uber in time, at the very least, for last, depending on how quickly MAGGOTS, you know, can hold this off. And it looks like they might even just have in time for second, but they really have to try and hold these MANDEM players back and not get forced on themselves. And you know what? Getting a couple of frags there, especially the headshot onto Boulder. Nice one out of a bot mode. They're cleaning up. They're finding the frags here. A bit of a dangerous situation for June there, but, you know, maybe confident that... Nope! He hits those! He hits those! You can't be confident that he won't hit those, because he hits those.
There we go. Okay, alright, we're back into it again. God, it feels like they have to struggle so hard. We do eventually take down Demul, and there we go. Okay, MAGGOTS, they have control of the mid. They have their full Uber. Things are looking good right now. They can maybe get themselves into that kind of better situation. I don't know, but let's just say the last push, you know, a couple minutes ago, let's just say that was just like a fluke. You know, MANDEM just got lucky. This should be a good situation for them. This could be quite easily, you know, round winning. Second should be theirs with just basically just no time to waste at all. That is a really good frag on Ryan. I think he got stuck on a doorway, because that is really confusing. They should just be basically, as soon as they get to like half cap, just more or less get in, I think, you know.
Yeah, they have a full Uber, as long as they don't get headshot by Boulder here, who is not looking at the right door at the right time, so that sniper play is immediately out of the question. Now they just have to make this Uber stick. It didn't work last time. This time around they find a sentry a little bit sooner. They find Demul as well before he can even leave spawn. They're getting a little bit more presence projected onto this last point, but they're not quite finding the frags just yet. KN goes down. Ryan is back in the game as well. Nice little rocket there onto Av. Sit yourself down, kiddo, and Zams is the only one left again. Yeah, they just can't quite find these MANDEM players. They're too elusive, slipping away all the time, and not finding the frags that they really need to be able to do anything. And because Fancy lives for so long as well, they can't get on the point, and yeah, it all just falls apart again. That being said, At least they got some forward spawns, namely KN in the forward spawn here. Just seeing if he can be cheeky. Nope, he's been spotted immediately. That's not happening. Oh well, they can probably hold second. Ah, well, they don't have Uber actually, so they will have to pray for a good fourth here.
I was gonna say the massive Uber disadvantage might hurt, and don't worry, bot mode's like, hey guys, look, it didn't work the first time. It worked the second time on sniper, which means no, statistically now this one won't work. No, but he needs to get this one out of the way. It's fine, it's fine. He does have the sniper. He is getting shut out pretty much instantly. Not going to stand a chance there. Actually, lucky.
Lucky to live, yeah. Well, just about.
Dude, I saw that rocket coming in, you know? That is a big bomb in from Fancy. Not quite actually catching Lambs there, but going to be combining onto AF, so that's not too bad. I feel like they're very split on the side of MANDEM. They're very, very split.
Yeah, I mean, Fancy's completely disconnected now. He's just caught in behind, but it doesn't matter because the scouts are just here to clean up all the damage. Boulder into Mool, take down the flank, basically. Now Fancy's still alive, wreaking havoc. Look at the damage this guy's dealing. Eventually cleaned up, but they managed to hold on to it for now without having to use just yet. Juxta still has that Uber he's sitting on as well, so this point is secure for at least another 10 or so seconds. But the pressure is not letting off. MANDEM are really trying to get this point edged out ever so slightly. There you go. They forced the Uber just with that. A little bit of damage onto the remaining players, a little bit of cap time, and it gets the Uber out of the equation. Now MAGGOTS really have to retake the second and try to hold on to it for a while, but the Uber disad is so massive. It's a 60% gap between June and Juxta, and MANDEM are gonna be rearing to come back into this any second now. They really will not let this happen unless Jordy just waddles on in there. Okay, that's scary.
Oh my god, dude, they're just committing on the side of Dirty MAGGOTS. That's bot mode in as well. Okay, optimistic. Great stuff. Now they will have to be backing up on the second point. Yeah, they need to make sure they don't get caught here. This is very, very dangerous. I mean, this is going to be Uber disadvantage, player disadvantage. Sam's actually almost gone down already. Just managed to get into spawn, though. That's huge, but then it just means there's no stickies on point. They just need to get the second cap. The only saving grace right now is the Dirty MAGGOTS will get all their spawns in before the second is capped. If they can lock them in, MANDEM will just be able to cap it up from underneath them.
But
no,
that's not happening. They're just actually finding the frags for once.
Oh my god, the timing, dude. The timing. That was like, those spawns coming in, and just so, like, how slow that second cap was just made all the difference.
Well, it worked out though. Look at that. They get retaken on second. They have a full Uber in tow as well. Little things to worry about. Only a couple of people that were even alive to get out of that in the first place. So this mid should be pretty easy to take as well. And they might even be able to roll to the second. June is building mighty fast on that Uber though. So they really have to move quickly if they still want this to be an advantage. But yeah, no, I think MANDEM might even just hold them off for a bit and then fight this with an equal Uber, or just get out, depending on how it goes. But MAGGOTS are taking so long at this point that this will just end up in an exchange. Maybe they can find some frags beforehand, but MANDEM are the ones finding the frags. That's Botmod and Jordy taken out of the equation. Zam's dangerous as well for the Uber finally gets used, and it's a little bit better for the side of MANDEM ever so slightly. There goes Zam. Zoe's already in behind as well. No! It all falls apart. It was so good for a while.
You can't do it. That's so sad. It was like the tail end of that Uber trade, and I'm just like, okay, there's a chance. And then, because genuinely MANDEM were incredibly weak, their health was it was dog at one point. And then those like all-important flashes come in from June, yeah, all good stuff. And then just in the tail end, once that chase began, that was a really, really good timing on the flank though, as well to get that full-on chase. And here we go, MANDEM back in driver's seat. We have yet another player on the sniper class.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. The fourth player now on the side of the MAGGOTS to try their hand at sniper.
Give it all six. Give it all six, you know?
Yeah, might as well at some point, right? And it would be very funny if they all try it and then it still ends up being only bot mode who had any impact whatsoever.
I think Juxta will do it.
Yeah, maybe. I suppose it is possible. I guess it's going to have to be some crazy situation for that to matter.
Sony.
We're in a pause. Yeah.
What's going on right now? What are we doing? What are we doing pausing?
I mean, given the situation of the game right now, I think you don't have to be Nostradamus to understand what's probably a very interesting tactical pause, perhaps. Maybe
anything could have happened.
Yeah,
anything
surely, right?
could have happened, okay?
Surely, there's no way that this is another lost round for MAGGOTS and then they try to have a tactical quick talk or something. No.
In fairness, I do always admire like the 4-0 down tag pause, because it's always that moment where it's like, I don't know if anyone remember, there's this really old like CS clip of it was like SK with like what was it? It was like Cold Zero and Fallen and all those guys. And they talk about there was this like amazing bit where they were like, you know, so many rounds down and they had like attack pause and they were like, this is it, we should win every round in a row. You know, if you want to prove that you're good, like prove it now. And they immediately just got rolled. And I feel like that happens 95% of the time in TF2. You're like, dude, I'm 4 rounds down. This is the time to show whether or not we're good. And then you just get pounded next round. Maybe that's just my experience.
What if they TCM though? You know?
I don't even think it counts as TCM when there's like 15 minutes left in the game. Because, like...
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but we're not actually that late into the game. Really, you know?
It's true. We haven't even like really hit half time yet, and Maggots are kind of very much on the back foot. But yeah, Jordy does love himself his tactical pauses, if I remember right. He tends to do those from time to time, and there's like I want to say if you're like on Polymarket right now, whatever, like betting on the live game, if there's like a bet for will Jordy whip out the direct hit, I think the odds are going up with this pause. The odds of Jordy switching to the direct hit as like a Hail Mary and just like trying to delete Boulder and Zoe from the game could happen. I can see that happening, honestly. Will it work out? No, because it's almost never worked out, I think. But sometimes it does. Sometimes it does.
I mean, the theory of the direct hit buff banner is that you can delete 150 health classes from across the map. So, you know?
I guess. Perhaps. I don't know.
I think it's happened like once in all of TF2. But it could happen, you know. But it could. I wish, it's in these moments I always wish that we could, you know, go into the mumbles of these players and find out what they're talking about, you know. Find out whether they're just like, honestly, it feels like, as stupid as it sounds, if our prediction is true, and they did end up losing the round, I feel like one of the biggest things to talk about is just, it comes down to mids, because yeah, kind of a lot of the rest of their play is just also getting picked apart. But the easiest way to actually get some momentum in a game is, you know, winning some mids, right?
Yeah,
it's that stupid thing. Like,
we saw it this round, right? Maggots won the mid on this round, and suddenly the round didn't end in 2 minutes. They actually put up a little bit of a fight, but, well, that pause has ended. We're back to the loss that they have to hold now with a bit of an uber disad. Juxta might get in time, and Fancy's having some trouble really getting into this last point as well, so they're not going to have ground for a while. Unfortunately, there goes the heavy out of the equation, though. They have traded a few frags, and the uber is going to be in store for Juxta. There goes June taken care of. Now they just got to make sure they actually keep this uber in play as well as Boulder, wreaking a bit of havoc in the back line, eventually cleaned up, though, and unless Zoe is going to be an Agent of Chaos, which is going to be tough when you're all the way out of the fight already, this actually looks like a chance for Maggots to stabilize, so perhaps this was a different kind of pause. Perhaps somebody just crashed out of the server.
I like that. I like that idea. This is, yeah, there we go. So this is, Uber in the hands of Juxta. We do have a Zoe, offensive sniper, so gonna keep some eyes out for that. Oh, see, sticky traps being checked. We got it. First headshot does ring out onto Ken, so they are gonna be aware Uber's gonna get used nice and early. Zams is getting just so juggled, but there we go. Still managed to get the jump off. They get 1 frag for it, so kind of trades out the frag, which is okay. It's going to be interesting to see whether MANDEM do want to convincingly take this fight. It does seem like Ryan does want to at least buy a little bit of space. Any kind of snipes right now is going to be absolutely huge in terms of opening this up. They do get the first kill all the way towards Ken, and Dirty Maggots, they are scared, they are fearful. They're going to be backing up all the way. I feel like they're kind of being a bit fearful. I'm going to be real right now. I feel like they... Like, I don't know whether they're not necessarily counting the Ubers as closely as they would like to be, but I feel like that was a pretty equal fight they could have took.
Yeah, maybe respecting him a little bit too much, right? Being a little bit too respecting of MANDEM. But then again, they did just get their asses handed to them for 3 rounds in a row, and they're still on the back foot, so can't blame them necessarily. Bot mode back on the sniper instead, trying to see if he can hit a shot. Unfortunately, doesn't, and it's going to be a last hold for the Maggots now, giving them way too much ground on the side of MANDEM. Losing Jordy as well means that now for this last push, they're down a player already. Now, Zoe is still on the sniper, so unless he starts hitting shots, it's not going to be that big of a difference, I suppose, but, you know, you do have to worry about that at some point as well. Now, with that point capped, it's only a matter of time before MANDEM decide how they're going to go in, and because of Maggots, like, have this, like, weird hold here as well, they didn't have much time to set up yet. They just now switched to Engineer. They're going to try to set up a sentry, and they might just take some time here. With Ryan getting taken down as well, they actually have a chance to maybe stall for a bit, but Zoe's already, you know, the deep peek. That was scary. My God. I think Botma would have gone for the shot there. He would have maybe even hit it.
Oh, that, I actually think if there was like half a second more, that body shot would have rang out. But you know what? It's okay. 2 players down. Maul's actually going all the way in. He's so
Respectable.
keen.
Respectable.
I love that.
That's
Dude, that's how you gotta do it. You gotta catch them when they're not quite sure, right? When they least expect it. You just gotta, and let's be real, them all dying there makes no difference in this game. Because, Dirty Maggots is just gonna push out the 5 players. No, obviously not gonna happen.
They're gonna try to maybe get a little snipe here, cheeky one through the door, but half can't quite get it in time, and that's that opportunity already evaporated back into smoke. Now MANDEM back in position. Everybody's ready. They're gonna have another attempt at trying to get into this last, and well, they know they can just play the timer a bit at this point as well, right? They are up 3 rounds, and with 11 minutes on the clock, that's plenty of time for Maggots to theoretically come back, but the more time they burn away, the better. As the Mole just sends himself in again, gets cleaned up. Ryan, same fate befalls him, but Fancy finds the dispenser and teleporter combo, which
hell yeah,
is very important for the last hold integrity, because now there's no armor for, at least for a bit, for Jux to glide in, right? That matters sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not there for like 6 seconds.
Just gets
Boulder
run in
has
on. Okay,
ran. He's ran out of Demo Man. Okay,
cool. This
kind of sucks now for the side of the Maggots. I'm gonna be real, it kind of sucks. I feel like as long as MANDEM could get this gun down, this should be the easiest force of their life. It is still kind of really annoying with where the gun is positioned. They need to start picking some of these doorways. Yeah, there we go, has gone down. Zoe has lost their life. Anyone else going to commit? I feel like it's probably worth it, guys. There we go, Ryan's in.
Yeah, they find a few more frags, and at this point it's going to be a losing battle for the Maggots. Jux is doing some good job trading, actually. Never mind. Okay, I was surely he was going to get forced here. There's actually a chance now to get it back into second and cap this point, as long as nobody dies to a cheeky Fancy sticky trap. I'm sure they've checked all the corners. Fancy's just laying down damage on the point in general, having to be run down by scouts here, but he has someone backing him up as well, and they're going to try to fight this. This point isn't quite capped yet, and they've got all the forward spawners on the side of MANDEM as well, so this is going to be a second fight once the Maggots get into position as well. And there's a high bomb already out of the Mole. The Uber's popped off out of the side of the MANDEM players, and unfortunately that's 2 players caught by Fancy. He just does it again.
Dude, it was a crunchy bomb, but also, like, kind of what were Dirty Maggots doing there? I'm gonna be real, like, yeah, I don't know. That feels like it's obviously bad for the game, but I also just think that was just, yeah, I don't know. You just can't let them do that, man. You just can't.
That's kind of disgusting. Here we are. Match point for the MANDEM players. Maybe took a little bit longer than everybody would have necessarily expected after we saw those first couple of rounds. Maggots have been looking more solid. They've at least been putting up a fight for a couple of rounds here, but I think it just crumbling down with Boulder holding W into your demo man and killing him and getting away with it is a pretty unfortunate way to really just start the collapse of that round. And now they're on death's door, trying to salvage something here. 4 rounds in 9.5 minutes. It's theoretically possible, but Maggots are going to have to lock the hell in if they want to have a chance at actually making that happen. And it's how to start with this mid-fight. The last one went well for them. They just got to continue actually going well. And for now, they're bad in positioning again. And there's the first player down already. Botmo traded out onto the side of the Maggots. It's only going to fall from here. There you go. Alf taken down as well. There goes the heals, and it just collapses. The House of Guards immediately ripped away from them. It's only Jordy left alive, who is behind, but immediately spotted out as well.
Oh, go on, mate.
He's a non-factor at this point.
No. I can see this happening. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some serious mental gymnastics to work this one out, but
he's blocking mid, I guess. It hasn't been capped yet, so if the team can somehow stabilize on last, bot mode on Sniper again, unfortunately caught up by the Mole. Jordy eventually gets cleaned up, but you know, okay, they got them into last, and somehow used that Uber as well. I mean, it doesn't matter, they're spawn camping with it, and there's only 2 players alive, so I think it doesn't really matter. Yeah, no, it's a 1 round. Yep, okay.
Those were really bad spawn times.
Yeah.
That was like a 16-second respawn.
Surprisingly bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that was what Dirty Maggots were hoping for map 1 of the season. Not great. Not a great start. I don't know. I feel like they didn't really have an answer for anything MANDEM was doing. Like, it didn't just come down to the mids. Their mids were worse. Like, MANDEM was so much more confident on the mids. That's obvious, but it felt like it's like when you feel that one team is in the driver's seat, and I don't know, they kind of just got to pick them apart a little bit. It wasn't that Dirty Maggots weren't trying things. It's that everything they were trying, MANDEM had an answer for, and they would basically let Maggots just kind of, commit just hard enough to then just absolutely decimate them. I think it's that bit which makes TF2 interesting. It's those like fuzzy gray areas, right? And MANDEM was just playing that way better.
Yeah, like I feel like almost every fight seemingly just boiled down to like, okay, here's a couple of maybe picks out of the maggots, and then Fancy, who's just been sitting on the sidelines, gets like an insane sticky, like synced up, like somehow just 3 stickies into the entire enemy team because they're all bunched up for a second, and it just all falls apart from there. Also, apparently logs aren't working, so we won't be able to look at numbers. We won't be able to quantify exactly who was the best player. But I did see at many points that Boulder was definitely fragging, so he's clearly not been rusty either. He wants to reclaim that Scout of the Season spot, I suppose.
Well, Sony, if you want, I can see that the logs for their warm-up are available, and that was also a 5-0. So I can just read those if you'd prefer.
Surely that's
we could just it was the same result. Wow, Fancy did some really good damage. Hope this helps.
Damn, who would have thought?
Crazy, dude.
Unheard of. That's never happened before.
I think it is. It was such a map for like when you're on the other team, you can't even be that mad because I don't even think it was like one player on the side of MANDEM or like 1 or 2 players popping off. Like they were just kind of getting bested on all fronts, right? Like you had pretty much every player on the side of MANDEM was like, oh yeah, they did a really good thing there. Oh yeah, they did a really good thing there. Like everyone had their moments and they were just kind of getting outclassed.
At pretty much every step, yeah. There were flashes, obviously. Botmo trying his best with the sniper plays. Unfortunately, maybe committing a bit too much as well sometimes to the sniper. I mean, we know he likes playing the sniper. It is map dependent. Sometimes process tends to be more favorable, but at the end of the day, you also still need to have the team work around it. And maybe a bit too keen on the sniper points, like kind of just throwing it away. Sure, if he hits the Hail Mary shot, like he did that one time, what saved them the round for a while when he did get the frag onto June. Like, yeah, it can happen, but that's like the law of large numbers at some point as well. You're kind of just banking on doing it enough times and it'll work out eventually. But maybe that also contributes a bit, right? When you basically have a player who's always going to be down at some point. So
yeah, and I think to give some credit on the whole like sniping front, I think it's difficult in those games because all of the sniper action that we saw really on the side of the maggots was in like a lose less situation. Like you're already on the back foot and you're trying to do something to make you not get like pounded into a brick wall. There wasn't many opportunities where you actually get to like rotate with the team and try something and like actually go for like coordinated peaks. They didn't really have much of that, so I feel like it's that kind of it was mostly that sniping, which I think kind of sucks because it's like either you hit the crucial shot or you probably lose the round. So plus like the other team is already playing around that, so it just makes it hard, man.
It's got the highest split between potential and disaster.
It's like either you do something sick or you lose entirely, and it's just like there's no it's fine. You got like something. It's that is it. It is all or nothing.
So, changing maps, a blank reset. Perhaps maggots just aren't really all dialed in yet on process. Perhaps they've been doing their homework on Granary instead. Do you foresee this going remotely differently? Let's not jump the gun and say, oh, maggots suddenly sweep. But let's say, maybe they manage to pick up a few rounds or something like that. They stabilize. They have, take the little break in between maps to reset the mental as well if it has to be done, and maybe just find themselves a chance to perform a little bit better here, or is this just going to be MANDEM completely running away with it and making it their season?
I want to say that we're going to see more from Dirty Maggots. I think ultimately it's going to come down a lot to their soldiers, because in terms of those mids, it wasn't that MANDEM was going absolutely like crazy with their soldiers, but their soldiers were finding more success, even if that success was just living, right? And now that comes from team play, obviously. But on a map like Granary, where so much can come down to big bombs, I mean, possibly we're going to see a bit more from Maggots, just because Granary is a map which lends itself to, a bit more to kind of commit bombs or kind of aggressive bombs. Because like in process, you bomb high and like everyone sees you for the entire time you're in the air. So it's very, very different. Whereas Granary, you can actually get the drop on people a lot more, or you can land on some better high ground, because landing on the high ground on process is like cool if you're already starting to win the mid, but if not, like if they're just standing, like it's like the start of mid, they'll just like, I don't know, kill you a lot of the time. So yeah, I don't know. I think we will see a little bit more from Dirty Maggots, and I think it kind of needs to start with their soldiers.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of, I mean, if let's like put the soldiers in like a bit of a head-to-head here, like especially because we are headed to Granary as well. Like on paper, what would you like if you had to like quantify? Would you say that Kay and Jordy or Ryan Demul is the better soldier duo? Maybe also taking into account like how much they've played together, synergy, that sort of stuff. Or like do you reckon that like Ryan and Demul are gonna outperform again, or was it like just a symptom of the fact that the rest of the team was just giving them more stuff to work with as well? And maybe now, maybe Kay and Jordy are actually better on paper and they're gonna do better now. What do you reckon?
I wouldn't say the Dirty Maggot soldiers are like I wouldn't say they are like straight up a better soldier combo, and I wouldn't say that they're straight up way worse. I think maybe this is me not keeping up with things super closely. I would still favor the MANDEM soldiers in general, but maybe this is my like old man rose tinted glasses of Demul of yesteryear. But I don't think that game was representative of the Dirty Maggot soldiers. I think is my key point. I don't think that was them showing what they're made of at all.
Yeah, that's a diplomatic but also reasonable way of putting it. I think if we can see more out of them, if they get to do more as they want to, if they are allowed to, right? They're not completely trunked by Zoe and Boulder and the likes all the time as well. They might be able to get away with more, and we could see more out of the Maggots as a result on this map. But I think it's going to boil down to, as you mentioned, the mids as well. We'll see if they figured out the config. Let's go. They actually got it right this time around. Look at that. They learned from their mistakes. Now, we're going to see how map 2 goes. Maggots couldn't quite perform on map 1. MANDEM kind of swept it away, but maybe Granary's a different story. Maybe these mids are going to favor them more. Maybe things are going to go different. And Fancy almost dies on the mid, but manages to just about live for now. Does get healed up as well, and now the fight can actually start. Neither demo gets an early little pick, and it's just down to classic old Granary looking at each other. Crates, that's just a straight rocket getting onto Jordy. I don't think Demul was even aware he was there and was trying to hit the other soldier. Oh well, it worked out anyway, and that's 4 players dead for the Maggots instantaneously, and probably a couple more to follow unless Af can get his medic out of here in time and back to safety, and he might just. The chase is on, but he will get away.
Yeah, that is a really important escape. Actually, it was good damage onto Zoe, I believe it was, who just about had to then delay a little bit and not go for that full commit chase. I think that could have gone much worse if a couple shots were hit a little bit different. But we do see MANDEM trying to get aggressive towards second point. They are still capping mid and actually losing Fancy. They should be losing another player just about. Uber does get used to save Bolden. This is, I think that's a little bit brave there on the side of MANDEM. They will have to be trying to escape if they can manage to catch them. Sams, no, quite getting the juggle in.
Unfortunate, couldn't quite bully June to help stop her from escaping, and Zoe actually manages to trade up for bot mode in the flank in the meantime. Again, doing his flank scout shenanigans. He loves being very far into the back lines a lot of the time, this guy. Does it frequently, and it's gotta be something Maggots have to be aware of, they have to worry about, because he's about to get the drop on the medic. Okay, they got him on lock. But in the meantime, Jordy does die up ahead, and well, it's not making holding the second any easier when you're still kind of missing a player, and now the rest of the MANDEM players are coming back as well. There's the damage coming through the door with Fancy as well, so they really gotta find a way to hold on to this. That being said, Ubers are equal. It was a big of a reset there, so gonna have a chance to, win it the old-fashioned way. And with Balder going down, it's gonna make things a little bit easier, because that's the combo scout missing.
Yeah, I did. I appreciate that from Boulder. That was just like the, how much is a scout going to do on second on Granary? I'm just going to run in a straight line, see if I can get a frag. Didn't happen. But again, no harm really done. So we get our first little breather of the game. Already, you see Dirty Maggots looking a little bit stronger, a little bit happier with things, perhaps. Like you say, maybe Granary is just more their kind of map. It's a little bit difficult on second in terms of on the defending side. There's not loads you can always do unless you just want to kind of send someone all the way and peek towards far right, but it is actually a lot of aggression on the side of MANDEM. They're kind of starting to tear them apart. Look at the damage that's been dealt to these Dirty Maggots players already. This is actually so significant. Ryan is the first to go down, but at any point it feels like MANDEM could just kind of
Yep,
make a
chip
decision
away.
and go for
There
it
you
from
go.
there.
They chip away on that Jordy cleanup. It was waiting for a while. They eventually find it, and that's gonna make it a little bit harder again. They had a bit of a chance here to just keep holding. Now they trade out Af for Zoe, so numbers still favoring them, but unfortunate for them, Ryan's already back up and making his way forward, so it's only gonna start favoring MANDEM more and more. The respawn timers are just better for these attacking teams usually, and Batmo is really keen Fuff over here as well. It does get cleaned up though. Boulder manages to slip in behind, and
no.
I think it's falling apart. Here you go. Zams is caught, and at this point, Maggots are gonna really have to try and pull a miracle out of they had to hold this last, I think, because things are getting dire very quickly.
Yeah, we do see both soldiers on the high ground. They're making this just a little bit more difficult. Oh, there we go. Okay, Uber does go all the way in. Actually, Af gets juggled a little bit there. Almost thought they could get disconnected, but no, Ubers are going to get traded. These are some great little flashes from June, by the way. Really, really significant little moments. Bot mode once again on the sniper class. I think that's a little bit brave when the rest of the team is already towards your last, but it does kind of look like the Maggots are weathering the storm. If they can maintain the high ground, maintain some position, get a frag or two, it's going to be so crucial right now.
It's going left and right. Teams trading players, and there's a bit of captain being put down as well. Jordy, can you get fancy here? That would be a very big pick to try and have them hold. It will eventually get cleaned up as well. June, the only one to escape, and she's out of harm's way for now, but the chase could still get on there. Nah, nobody's gonna get there in time, right? Not gonna cut off or anything. Gets back with the team, everything's fine. That medic's gonna save. Still, bit of an ad for Juxta, and if the Maggots are playing this right, they should definitely go off the back of that, especially considering Fancy just now spawns as well. It's not going to be any stickies to worry about for a second here, right? There's a chance to get into this mid, get some ground, get something going here, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally no reason why not, other than the fact that they have just lost one player, possibly might lose a second one. You can see, oh, dude, they do give quite a bit of space, don't they?
So much damage though. Eventually they cleaned up as well, but they still keep trading and losing players. Fancy also really diffing. And just the fight there with Zams eating a lot of damage, but there's just not going to be any cleanup, unfortunately, for Af. Juxta ate so much damage as well. He's going to be forced off, and it's just looking bad now for the Maggots. So much for that Uber ad. It is immediately turned into a full dis-ad. And the only thing separating them from losing the round is the fact that at least MANDEM still have to get through second. At the very least.
I think it's a real wasted opportunity there on the side of Dirty Maggots. I feel like they're second-guessing themselves a little bit too much here. There was such an opportunity, and I know it's, it's clearly a hard team to play against, but I don't know. Yeah. Okay, there we go. It's all about this last hold right now. Ooh, the stickies. There we go.
That was so funny with whoever was capping. I think it was Zoe standing on the very corner of the point, just so he doesn't get got by those classic stickies above. Fancy just waltzes on across and immediately dies. It's almost like Zams knew it was going to be a little bit of a delay, a little bit of patience needed. Like to see that. That delays this push a little bit, buys Juxta a bit of time to get that Uber up in time, and he's going to have it very soon. So they will have a full Uber to try and hold this with. It's going to be down to MANDEM to actually bust this hold, and well, they struggled before. They couldn't quite do it, and that was when they had a more favorable situation to be in. Now it's even less favorable than that time, so I have to see how they really try to approach this. If Af sniping as well on the left side, seeing if you can just get a cheeky shot off on somebody who's perhaps a bit too keen, but it's going to require quite a lot of missteps out of MANDEM at this point as well. They're probably aware of what's happening, what's going to be happening, and well, Fancy doesn't quite get his head taken off just yet. Af can't quite connect the shot, and unless Jordy gets in with the base jumper, the patented. Okay, you know what? They kill Boulder and Ryan. There you go. All right. Af finds a shot, and Ryan gets cleaned up as well. Okay, and just about lives? Okay.
See, the question is, on the side of Dirty Maggots, now what? See, we see the soldier jumping all the way in. Oh my god, everyone's just committing. They're getting to force that. See, okay, right. This is kind of what I was going to allude to. It's one of those where it's like you get two frags and it's like, now what? You need to make that decision of, are you going to second or are you holding still the exact same as if they have 6 players? I feel like they were in a little bit of a middle ground as they're deciding what they're doing and they're getting forced off. And now they've got massive Uber disadvantage. June's all the way towards point. If they catch anyone here... Okay. They have a moment. Okay, but this is still going to be massive Uber disadvantage. MANDEM should just check everything. I like that. Checking the stickies this time. They're like, no.
Not falling for that one again.
Not do the same again. No. Fool me once and all that, you know?
They're going to Uber in right away as well, not taking any risks whatsoever, making sure everybody's nice and safe getting on this last ground. And there goes the Sentry eventually as well, but no frags falling just yet as the Uber is faded. Juxta getting close to his own Uber as well. If he can keep the team alive for long enough, I say as 2 of them have already died, make it 3. But still, he's got a couple of key players at least still with him. Well,
Hello?
make that
Hello?
one. Zam's
Hello?
just somehow trying to protect the point from 4 players. Yeah, it's
Hello?
not gonna happen. Also, Fancy was just running him down with a katana. Kind of like a scary thing to see, really. Just gonna slowly chop away at you.
I think it's scary for a lot of reasons. But there we go. You know, 8 minutes in, we have our first completed round of the game. So things are looking a little bit better on the side of Dirty Maggots. I think that these games so far, specifically that round, is the kind of thing which I think Dirty Maggots could look at in a demo review and fix like 80% of their problems. They're not far. There's so many moments where they're just not far from having such great situations, but they're not quite clinching it. And I really want to see them get a little bit of momentum from this mid.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly put up more of a fight that round in general. It took them 9 minutes on the side of MANDEM almost to even get the round in the first place. That's quite a bit longer than it did on Process. So Maggots are looking stronger. This mid fight is going all right for them so far. They do lose the first frag. That being Zams obviously makes a big of a difference, but they do find Fancy in retaliation, and they actually find everybody in retaliation. It's Zoe and June running for their lives, getting caught, getting juggled, just about killing KN, but unfortunately there's the rest of the team to follow up with, and eventually they get that wipe, with Juxta still alive as well. A 1 mid for the Maggots. This is as good as it gets right now.
Yeah, that is exactly what you want right there. You could see the way they took position and basically like just the timing of getting those soldiers and getting those players onto the high ground and just forcing MANDEM into that corner and being patient as well, not going for that kind of, well, a couple players went for like the full commit, but they knew they could, have a little bit of like a longer chase, whatever, like it's fine. They could, do that, and actually getting that frag so late onto June should really open things up here. They do need to be careful going a second. I feel like, going a second, it's easy to end up losing a player for no reason, and I think you can't really afford to do that, but also they can't afford to wait too long, because we're already getting up the percentage on the side of June. They need to get the second point and just get right on it.
That's June always building so unbelievably quickly. Yeah, they have to use this Uber right now. They even have a chance of this being some sort of advantage push. They're not even finding the sentry in time. Eventually takes it down, but that's about it. Jordy already goes down. They trade him out for Ryan on the other side. Now there's an Uber ready, though, for the side of MANDEM as well. So this point will be very much secure and protected. And unless they get a lot of damage onto June, it looks like there might not even be a chance for her to pop, or a reason to, much rather, as Zams gets caught out as well. He's, caught behind for a while. They just leave him there, and not like he's doing much at that stage. And Juxta has to run for his life. Just about manages to get around the corner and escape the fancy death, which could have been a disastrous thing for the Maggots there. So hey, they're gonna have a chance to recuperate here, which is at least something to work with.
They are, and importantly, MANDEM basically fed their demo. So there you go. Getting that Uber force, so crucial right there.
I thought he was going to feed, but he actually does get the force out. Look at that. KN is in behind as well. Unfortunately, he gets spotted out immediately and might just escape with his life. Okay. So he gets taken down as well in the meantime as he was trying to flank. So this is actually looking nice for the Maggots. They have a chance to really get into the second now. There's a couple of players down as well. They really have to worry about this on the side of MANDEM. Maybe even get all the way back out to last. You still don't have an Uber either, and if you can't get an early force out of Juxta, or, well, kill him because he doesn't have it. But yeah, no, they have to just hold this last, make it stick, and this is an even better opportunity for Maggots. Better than last time. Less Uber on the side of June. So if they can make this one stick this time around, it's a good chance. No defense is really set up either. No sentries to worry about or anything like that. They really just have to get a little bit of cap time on the point. Get these players into positions where they don't want to be on the defensive side. Unfortunately, Jordy and KN are already taken down, so that's going to make spamming people from the high ground a lot harder. And there goes the rest of the team, just collapsed on immediately. So much damage out of Fancy and the rest of the team. It's crazy.
Did anyone tell Dirty Maggots they had an Uber? Because they got nothing out of that. They got absolutely nothing. Dude, that's... Oh, God, that's such a heartbreaker push, man. You get yourself all geared up like, yes, we're going to get around it, we're going to do it. And then you just kind of get fallen apart. Bot mode goes for the aggressive peak. Fair play. The spacebar was, the spacebar was pressed. Uber does get used. First frag, second frag, and actually they look like they can chase even more. Yeah, this soldier's going down.
Really
surely. Oh, dude!
Nope.
Timing on the arrow.
Just
timing
in time.
on the arrow.
But still gonna die anyway, right? Eventually cleaned up. They do actually at least retaliate with a couple frags of their own. The Mool and Balder just a bit too overextended for their own good. And it looks like Zams, well, he's trying to fight Fancy. He does get some help eventually, so there you go. They're actually finding the frags onto the MANDEM players. Even if the second point is gonna flip, Maggots are going to have a very easy time retaking it and giving themselves a chance to get right back in this. Neither team really managed to convert these rotations ever so slightly so far, and with neither medic dying for quite a while either, this is going to be another Uber ad. out of sight of the Maggots. They just gotta worry about the fact that there's already a flank going through Lunchbox with Ryan and his scout buddy trying to take that flank, and there you go. There's bot mode taken out of the equation. Zoe and Ryan eventually get cleaned up by the soldiers, but just buys them a little bit of time. It puts Maggots in a bad position. They got pulled out of position. There goes Zam's overextended as well. Kane taken down. That Uber ad has faded away. They got the force out of June, though. Eventually, Juxta has to pop himself. It's a lot better. Will they be able to chase much with this? Nah, not at all.
No, because, I mean,
There's
Jamal's
also
still
a
capping the second point.
Oh, so that's true. Oh, no.
I don't really know what's happening there. I don't really know what's going on. This is kind of just a bit of a tragic round. I think if someone could just unbind Fancy's like melee weapon, that'd be really good at this point. I think that would be pretty beneficial to the team. I don't think it really matters right now. They've got 3 players, not a lot of heals. Hey, you know what? We're getting 2 frags already. It's surely not going to be enough. 20-second respawns.
That's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Your soldiers are just not allowed to play the game right now, and that point has already got so much cap time on it. Yeah, no matter what you do, Zams couldn't get there in time. 2-0, but hey, it took a little bit longer again. Maggots are putting up a fight, and they're putting themselves in positions. Like, this is, on Process, we never even saw them on the other team's side of the map. This time they had a couple of last push attempts, right? So they're getting there. Trial and error, a couple more attempts, and they might just get there. For now, they have to try a little bit harder. Down 2 rounds, 15 minutes left to play for. Anything goes, but they really got to start cleaning up their play a little bit, and it's going to start with this mid-fight again, which went well last time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's see. That's good. God, that's such good early damage on the side of Fancy, and the follow-up there with Ryan. This mid's already, it's over, Dirty Maggots. You can tell they know it. They're leaving already. They need to be very, very careful about this chase. They need to try and get themselves back to as many doorways. Dude, that's such an annoying rocket.
Disgusting,
like, you're just trying to play the game, right? And like, Jamal doesn't even know you're there. That's a second rocket like that he's had this map alone. But you don't even know they're there, and yet you ruin their day.
Just absolutely disgusting. Oh my god. Getting bullied to death. And here we are. Another chance for MANDEM to try and take another round into last. Crucially, though, for the Maggots. Juxta lived. They got a full Uber in retaliation as well that they can, you know, try and hold this point with. So it's not trivial for MANDEM to get in here. They have to work for it. And with both of their scouts out of the equation, as well as Botmo peeking on forward with a sniper, being a bit of a threat here, as Fancy just waltzes almost directly into your medic and kills him with a kamikaze move. Just about gets away with it. That could have been scary, but they're locked in now. They're able to take this all the way to mid, probably, maybe even further. And there's a nice little shot there onto Zoe to make that flank even more open for his buddies. Yeah, look at that.
Okay, player advantage. You know, it is going to be equal Ubers. Players get traded, but to be fair, one of them's a sniper, doesn't matter too much. You can see Zam's in a good position on the high ground. They do manage to force off this Uber. This should be much, much better at this point. And that's actually Fancy going down as well. This chase is on. This chase is officially on. There is no way in hell they don't catch June right there. That is absolutely perfect. Even losing a soldier doesn't matter. Now they back up, play together.
Oh, losing 2, actually. Zoe just kind of face-tanking both soldiers.
Oh, the back cap as well.
Oh my god. How did they let Boulder get away with that? And of course he does bot mode on ping. Ay. Always just something that goes wrong. As soon as the Maggots are having a little bit of momentum in their favor, something just slips away again. It's like karmic justice itself wants to strike them down for whatever reason, and now they have to hold their screwed-ass yard again somehow, deal with these MANDEM players already flooding in. They trade out the move for KN, but they lose Jordy as well. There goes Ryan. Okay, no soldiers on the field. Neither of them are allowed to play at all. It's going to be a slightly better Uber, much sooner Uber, I'd say, like that, for Juxta. So, worst case, they can try to chase with that, but Fancy's really the only one even contesting on the side of MANDEM, and, well, we'll have to see how the Maggots really want to approach this. They know they got a bit of an ad. They might be keen in taking it forward, but even now, actually, they got forced. Yikes.
Ah, man. Like, they lose bot mode, and they get forced, and oh my god,
Juxta
dude, this play, it's so crunchy. It's so crunchy. Oh man, that's a round. I'm sorry, that's a round.
It's like I'm witnessing war crimes, man. This is dire. Oh jeez.
This is like the 17th saddest thing I've seen on the internet this week, but it's not been a great week, so that's okay. Bot mode sniping, trying to do anything. They're so aware of it. They're so aware. It's just no. I'm sorry. I'm not seeing it happen.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it's not the same when you don't have Kobe and Soapy as your soldiers, I suppose. Maybe that's the difference here. I don't know. That's a third round now for MANDEM. They're picking up steam again. MAGGOTS, maybe they ran out of stamina. They were putting up a bit of a fight there, right, for a couple of rounds, but it's kind of falling apart again. They're not really finding responses to whatever MANDEM's throwing at them, and unless they really lock in for this mid fight now, it might just fall away. Like, if this mid fight doesn't go their way whatsoever, and they lose another one, and then subsequently the round, it's just curtains at that point already, I think. Coming back from a 4-0 with like 10 minutes left, that's not easy and doesn't happen often, so they really have to try and make it stick here now. Find themselves some stable footing, get this mid cleaned up nice and easy, and then try to roll from there. But Sam's already so low. That's just about get healed up. Jordy has a bit of a flank here into the enemy garage as Kayan jumps onto the lamp, but they're also aware of where everybody is. Nobody's really getting away with anything. Kayan gets cleaned up. They eventually trade him out for Ryan. That's the Mule taking out of the equation, as well as Jordy on the other side. So no soldiers again on the field. The scouts and demos down to the core, but there's Zoe with another flank into the back lines, and it's just the scouts wreaking havoc once more.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely one of those mids where your soldiers kind of try and do so many things. They jump around, they dance around, they're doing this, that, whatever. But ultimately, it came down to just the scouts on the side of MANDEM just being incredibly aware. It isn't even like necessarily hitting the shots. They hit a lot of shots, but they're just, like you say, incredibly aware of where these players were. And, you know, once you force them onto that middle part of the point, it becomes very, very easy to spam down. And then when you catch them as they're trying to get out through the choke point, it's basically curtains. So there we go, Uber in their hands once again, bot mode sniping again, because there are, you know, many things that are constants in life, and apparently these are all of them, and MANDEM's going to be looking to try and get this fourth round on the board. They want to get themselves finished a little bit earlier tonight. Going to be left side, going to be fancy jumping on in. This sniper's going to do absolutely nothing at all. Gun should be going down nice and easily. There we go. These soldiers on the high ground are going to make things a little bit more difficult, but you can see already starting to force them off a little bit. Cane gun so weak and getting cleaned up. This heavy is going to be a little bit annoying, but the combined spam is just absolutely annihilating them. Surely there's going to be so little chance. You can see the scouts coming in. Oh my god, MANDEM are tearing them apart.
It's it really is like I'm watching a pit bull called Princess being let loose upon a children's playground. It's not looking great for the MAGGOTS, fellas. Anybody in chat who has put points on the MAGGOTS, I'm sorry. Sorry for your loss. I'm sure you expected more. I'm sure they expected more. I'm sure they're gonna do better for the rest of the season as well. But at this stage, I think like MANDEM look pretty untouchable in the good sense. They're just that good again, and they have no competition because Witness aren't playing. So unfortunately, there's nobody here to humble them either. If there was going to be a team to do it, it would have been the MAGGOTS, potentially. It doesn't look like that's happening, at least not tonight. And unless the MAGGOTS whip out some miracles, which, well, I mean, they're starting off okay. Ryan does get cleaned up, but unfortunately, Zams is dead. And, well, there goes your mid, probably. You're going to have a good time now. You're really going to have to work for it. That's a couple of frags. They are fighting. As a matter of fact, they find June as well. I'm eating my words, because as long as they keep Juxta alive here with Zoe on 2 health, that seems like it's probably likely. There you go. They might just have a mid under their belt and potentially a chance to get around if they actually lock the fuck in.
Okay. I feel like you ignore everything that's happened and then like... Are we... Oh.
We're pausing. Yes, we're pausing again.
We are pausing. Dude. Oh, man. I was really going to get in that moment of just like, okay, we ignore everything that's happened in the last 21 minutes. This is it. This is the now or never situation. You have your Uber advantage. I feel like you can't really do that when you got like a silly pause screen on your telly.
Yeah. Kind of takes all the wind out of your sails, doesn't it?
God damn, man.
Now I wonder, okay, is this another attack pause? Because like last time we were wondering on Process if it was a attack pause or a technical, nobody crashed. But it happened like kind of randomly. So, I mean, this would probably line up roughly with the timing for when maybe MAGGOTS win a round, potentially. But it's also a very short pause, as we see the unpause come through for a quick moment. So
someone did DC. There we go.
Somebody did DC. So
I feel like this is the kind of thing which, like, you would be so funny to try and explain to people who don't know TF2. Like, when you see the game jump once and, like, collectively the entire community knows, someone disconnected from the server and had to reconnect. Interesting. It's one of those weird, like, hive mind things where anyone outside of TF2 would just be like, what the hell are you talking about? Apparently it's bot mode, by the way.
Yeah, it was bot mode. But yeah, because this game is older than some of the people playing it, unfortunately, there's just this wonderful issue where if the game is paused and you try to join the server, you just can't. So you have to unpause. every once in a while to just let that little thing happen, little trivia there. And the game is just, you know, that's what you get when you play a game that's almost 20 years old. Yeah, anyway. Look, we're back in the round. Maggots are still on course to try and do this last push once again. They haven't had an opportunity for this in a while. It didn't stick all that well either last time they tried it, but they still got an opportunity, and even though bot mode will probably crash halfway through this push, they are trying their best, taking the Uber in, finding the sentry rather quickly. Now they just have to lock in these players into spawn, get them out of this ground, not give them anything. Unfortunately, Zam's down means that this point pressure is not going to be easy to apply. Crucially, they get June though. There's no heals gonna be in play here for the side of MANDEM, and this is where bot mode lags out probably soon. But maybe, just maybe, they get the round under their belt regardless before it happens, and they do. Just about.
There we go. We're back in it, boys. 7.5 minutes to go just to get 3 rounds, because we only need to get 3 for the minute. You know, we can look at everything else after. This is okay. You know, I honestly, as much as I'm sure bot mode probably did disconnect at some point, right? This is where I feel like there's almost logic in having like this like hack pause of like, hey guys, no, like we're still in it. Like we just need to, you know, keep doing the same kind of thing. Have another mid like that. Keep on, you know, keep on going.
Oh. This is what a pause was. On rollout, he crashed. I mean, halfway through the rollout, not the worst that could happen, I think. All things considered, he might be a bit late for mid, but, you know, if they play around it well enough, Fancy's already obviously got a lot of ground on this mid, but that means he's also caught out very easily. And there you go, June down as well means no heals to worry about for the side of the MANDEM players here. So if they can keep these straggling players out of harm's way, and by that I mean keep Juxta safe, then maybe, just maybe, this is an opportunity to come back into this, as the Maggots are trying their best to figure out how they're going to get back into this midpoint, and MANDEM are just hiding. The little rats scurrying around, seeing if they can get away with anything, as the mole lays down a bit of damage. That's about it though, and Maggots stabilized. They're still taking a bit longer though, and with the time ticking away now, this going to any sort of tie game, it's looking less likely. Golden Cap is in the cards, but they really have to try. That's a big soldier bomb into your medic directly, and an Uber forced out immediately as well. Great out of the mole. Now it's just going to be on keeping June safe, and they're doing a good job of that as well.
Oh, that's so sad that they literally use an Uber and then immediately lose 3 players. This is Crumble Town for Dirty Maggots. I'm gonna be real. There's not a lot they can do at this point. The fact they've managed to keep Juxta alive and get them out of the fight is going to be good. I think they just have no choice but to just build like no one's business. They will have just enough time, because like mid's only getting capped now. They will have just enough time to get Uber onto last. I don't see MANDEM wanting to let them get too comfortable towards last. It's kind of difficult with how Sniper works on Granary last. It's like usually on last you would like to kind of peek forward and, you know, try and deal with the gun nice and early, but with the Sniper it's a little bit like meh, you know, whatever. So Juxta will be just about getting this Uber now, and I feel like MANDEM's very, very aware of that, and they know they do not have to be in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, at the end of the day, whatever they do doesn't matter that much either, right? They have 5 minutes left. They've already won the map anyway. This is just a question of rounding it out before that timer hits 0, or giving Maggots a chance to practice and hone their craft a little bit longer, trying to hold last, trying to find a response to how to deal with this MANDEM team, because they will inevitably face off again at some point, probably this season. So, also, yeah, they're just giving bot mode some peeks. There you go. Nice little shot.
I was going to say, this is, you know, we've been watching this all night. I want to see some bot mode headshots right now. Like, he you know, my guy keeps going to Sniper. Let's, you know, we've seen one. Go on. Dude, go for just like the dirty far right peek. Off you go. Go on. Just walk in.
Oh,
there
we
go. There it is. That's what we've been waiting for.
He gets away with it. That's like you like to see. That's what we're here for. That's why he's playing in EU this season. Unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna mean that much, because Maggots also, yeah, somehow lose half their team. Still, despite all of that, they really have to go. If they want to at least put another round on the board here, it's starting to look like they just have to hold W and get going. The Mole now trying to do the same out of forward spawn. Interesting. Curious. Perhaps. I
mean, he's activated the Demol Sniper, so you do that, and then suddenly everyone else is like, dude, I want to snipe now. I want to have a go. There's a... Nope, not quite connecting. And they're losing 2 players again. Dude, someone explain to me how. Like, just how. Ah. That's fine, they get more frags. They get more frags. Dude, just keep on fighting. It's 3 minutes there. Just keep on fighting. If you ever stop pressing W at this point, I don't know how much you actually want to play Team Fortress 2. Just
True.
everything is getting in, hit an air shot, do whatever.
Oh! Nice little double even. Nice job. Good job, Jordy. There's a clip. You hit a clip, Jordy. Good job. You hit a clip. Did he even get the kill? The move? Was that the move that he killed there? Actually, it would be funny if he didn't even die. Anyway, look, they're fighting. They're fighting for it. Unfortunately, there's a full Uber now for the side of MANDEM, and they're absolutely gonna try to bully their way into mid with it. Maybe even use if they have to, but at this rate, doesn't look like they have to. With you know, the MAGGOTS just kind of out of harm's way, not really causing much. Eventually, they use the Uber just to clean up whatever's being thrown at them, and there you go. Yeah, they're gonna try to close this round out, aren't they?
Pretty.
Okay.
Okay. I saw a moment where bot mode was about to get killed, and I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But it's fine. It's okay. It's all on Jordy. This is going to be the Jordy blank of a lifetime. There's sticky bombs. There's sticky bombs. There's sticky bomb. Oh, we're in! Oh.
Let's try. Let's try. NT.
You gotta give it a go, you know.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well. It's not much you can... It's not much you can do, and just try to hold this last one more time. Maybe see if you can... You know, if you have another good last all day, that's another one you can put into your back pocket. You have, like, saved for later in case you need to pull it off again at some point. But, yeah, MAGGOTS are not looking as strong as, at least I would have expected them to look tonight. Sure, I expected MANDEM to probably win anyway, but not as easily, not as confidently as they did. I would have expected MAGGOTS to put up a little bit more of a fight. Get a few more rounds than they ended up getting with a single one on Granary. But we'll have to see if it will be another one that ends with a 5-score limit. It is indeed, as nobody even gets to the point in time. And MANDEM close it out very confidently, very, very nicely. So, yeah, they're looking pretty dominant already. No, there's no rust on this team whatsoever. At least none that affects them. Let's say it like that.
I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call my prediction at the start as being just objectively correct. If you want to get better at the game, there's two options. There's playing loads, or just stop playing for like 10 months or so, and you will just be way better than you've ever been.
Potentially, yeah.
Basically,
perhaps that's the difference. Do we have logs this time? Oh my gosh.
Oh.
No way. Really? Oh
we got any surprises here? We got any surprises that Boulder and Zoe got a combined 67 frags? Nope.
Nope.
Not really surprised, I'll be honest.
To be fair, Af had a decent game as well. Like, well, credit where it's due, right?
Oh, yeah. No.
Had a decent game as well, but it just doesn't compare in that regard. And to be fair, despite everything, Zam still put down pretty good damage. Like, in spite of everything, because like that's like his core aspect of why Zams usually works is that he just does boatloads of damage and doesn't die, and he hasn't been able to do that as much on this match at least. But still, it shines through every once in a while. You see him trying to put the team on his back with that, and it shows a little bit. But yeah, Boulder and Zoe are kind of just activated. Good lord.
I think, yeah, it's, you know, so much of it comes down to like the team play and just the overall awareness of what's happening. You know, the second the fight becomes a little bit scrappy, and just the fact that MANDEM were at all times ready to pounce on any kind of chase opportunities, or, you know, any kind of time where you end up having better position, or you can force the other team into getting into a worse position. They're just very, very active how they went about that, and I think, yeah, just looking at things, I think Dirty MAGGOTS might have a few things that they're going to want to go away and kind of have a look into. Because the thing is, you know, this is well, in terms of actual chronology, week 2, but this is their week 1 game of the season. So there's a long season to go. There's a lot of time before the end of the season. There's quite a lot of time before LAN. There's a lot of time to actually look and fix some of these issues that were plaguing the MAGGOTS tonight. So I don't think we'll be seeing the same kind of performance in a month's time.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of time and room for them to improve. Obviously, the roster changes to the team as well, maybe affecting them a little bit, right? Losing or like swapping a player like Piggles out, that is big shoes to fill, right? Even if he's like,
and Lao shoes as well.
Yeah, I mean, true. But even if he, like, assuming he weren't the best medic mechanically, like mechanically, I think Juxta is just as good as Piggles, but the just presence he has, right? The calling, the projection that he can do with that has a big difference. I don't know how that is for Juxta. He tends to be a bit quieter from the times I've seen him at LAN. So, you know, it's a different role you have to fill, and obviously that changes the team dynamics a lot. And I think that's what the Maggots are really adjusting to right now, right? The rest of the team is still kind of used playing with that. I don't know. I'm just trying to maybe psychoanalyze somebody here and getting it completely wrong. Either way, I'm sure Maggots are going to be looking better. They're going to have an easier rest of their season ahead of them, arguably. It only gets easier from here. I don't think there's going to be any teams harder than MANDEM for them to be fighting. So we'll see, I suppose. For now, that's it for us tonight. There's a couple of matches on Thursday. You can see them on your screen right now. Ender Pros and MANDEM. That's another banger, potentially. It's another interesting one. We'll have to see. And then on the second stream, we also have the Yak team versus Maggots. So both of these teams you just saw going up against formidable opponents as well in their own right. And we'll see how that shakes out. Any closing words, Epley?
GG. Have fun. See you guys Thursday. Eat your vegetables.